Today's message is very important because it has to do with an evil spirit which has ransacked the world since the beginning of time. It has to do with the Leviathan spirit. The main idea of this message is to let you know that the goal of the Leviathan spirit is to give you the Leviathan spirit. Well, what is the Leviathan spirit? The Leviathan spirit is a category of evil spirits, which is a part of the marine spirits, which causes its host to become prideful, jealous, greedy, and self-centered. This aquatic spirit resembles the sea serpent, but is not limited to its form. The Leviathan, a colossal sea animal that God created, known for its immense stature, is what this spirit is named after. This spirit affects billions today. Its power is made possible by way of multitude. Lucifer is not omnipresent, so in order for him to affect billions simultaneously, he needs assistance from the other fallen angels, who are of the 1/3 of fallen angels who fell with Lucifer after the great war in heaven. This number accounts to many trillions of angels. Lucifer, who is the leader of all iniquity, has more than enough assistance to affect as many people as possible. Therefore, every person affected by the spirit of Leviathan has a different and unique spirit within every one of them. This particular spirit will first bind to its victim by latching undetected to organs or regions in the body, and then will begin to rapidly change the mental reality of its host. This spirit will cause its host to, without cause, feel feelings of jealousy, have murderous thoughts, and become hateful, amongst many other things that many scientists call human nature. Being selfish, lustful, and violent are said to be a part of our human genome, but I say to you, do not be fooled by this knowledge. These emotions are not natural at all, for only when humans connect with one another and fall in love with one another does a human being truly feel fulfilled. In the spirit is where decision making is made. Before you formulate a thought, it must first be thought of by your deepest self, which is your spirit. This is something simple humans just don't understand. This is why many people call serial killers mentally predisposed to kill. An explanation such as this perfectly depicts just how unaware people can be to the spiritual realm. But what proves what I say is true? Take for instance the account of Tommy Lynn Sells, who is connected to more than 22 murders. This particular individual, who was clearly infected by the Leviathan spirit, calls himself hate. A statement like this is a clear manifestation of logic given to him by the Leviathan spirit. Watch this interview of him and open your spiritual eyes to see exactly what I mean.
We began our exploration into the inner workings of the brain along a remote highway in Texas, headed for Death Row, where I sat down with a 45-year-old man who could arguably have one of the baddest brains in America.
The first time I did a shot of dope, it was the best feeling I ever had in my life. And the first time I killed somebody, it was such a rush. And it was just like that shot of dope. every time I did it, it was that rush again, and I started chasing that high.
Tommy Lynn Sells was once a little boy growing up in St. Louis, but around the age of 14, he says he became addicted to killing.
How many people have you killed?
Lord, I don't know. I don't know.
10?
Yeah,
20?
probably.
30?
It's up there.
50?
But see, I'm not Billy the Kid making notches on my holster, so I know it's been a lot.
Psychopaths are individuals who lack conscience, they lack remorse, they lack guilt. That's one of the reasons why they terrorize society so much.
From coast to coast.
I am hatred. When you look at me, you look at hate.
When I look at you, I look at hate.
When you look at me, you know what hate is. 'Cause I don't know what love is. Two words I don't like to use is love and sorry, because I'm about hate.
His methods for killing were as random as the people he targeted. He raped many before cutting their throats or beating them, stabbing others and strangling some.
Vicious cycle.
I couldn't help but be grateful for the glass between us.
I don't have no feelings no more. No emotion, no.
They showed much poorer.
Dr. Adrian Rain has studied the brains of people scientifically determined to be psychopaths.
One of the key differences that we find in the brains of psychopaths is that there's a structural impairment to part of the brain called the amygdala. This is a part of the brain very much involved in the generation of emotion. It was structurally deformed in the psychopaths.
I like to watch the eyes fade, the pupil fade.
What do you like about that?
It's just like setting their soul free.
What are you thinking and feeling when you kill someone?
It's just like that drug. I'm after that drug again. I don't have an on and off switch. I'm just after that drug. I'm after that feeling.
Sells blames much of his murderous rage on sexual abuse he says he suffered as a child.
You also killed children.
Some get killed, yes.
Now, why would that happen?
I didn't want them to live through the pain I lived through.
It's biology plus environment. It's biology coming together with environmental insults which raise the odds of an individual becoming a violent criminal offender.
Crystal Searles, 10 years old at the time, was sleeping over at her friend Katie Harris's. A decade later, that night is still fresh in her memory.
I woke up startled a little bit and out of nowhere, and I was kind of confused to a loud noise.
I woke this girl up.
Her friend Katie was asleep on the bottom bunk.
I cut her bra.
I kind of just like leaned my head up a little bit, and I could see that there was this scary older man that I'd never seen before.
I stabbed her here, and then she like jumped back, and then I cut her like this right here.
And he had a hand on her mouth and the knife on her neck, and she's looking at me, and he just cut her throat, and she fell to the ground.
And she fell down right here.
I heard Katie at the bottom of the bed, on the floor at the bottom of the bunk bed. She was like gasping for air and choking, like she couldn't breathe. About to shut off the light, and he looked one last time, and he noticed that I was there. And he didn't hesitate at all. I mean, just shut the door, came right back towards me with the knife.
And I walked over here, and I went like this.
The only thing that he said is, "Move your hands," because I had him up here, and he reached over the top bunk and cut my neck.
Sells sliced Crystal's neck, severing her windpipe and grazing her carotid artery.
I am very sure he thought he killed me.
Crystal Searles identified Tommy Lynn Sells as her assailant and her friend's killer, putting an end to his homicidal spree.
Do you remember the little girl who survived?
Yes. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about her.
What did you do to her, sir?
Her neck was cut
How did you do that?
with a knife.
Do you have anything to say to her, the little girl who survived?
I guess you'll relay this message too, huh?
It's very difficult to control a psychopath. They're the person in control. And in fact, in an interview, psychopaths tend to take control of the interviewing.
What's your name?
Martin,
Martin?
yes. Can I call you Tommy?
Oh, without a doubt. I don't think she really wants to hear what I got to say.
What did you see in his eyes?
To be honest, he seemed blank. I mean, there was no emotion. It wasn't hard for him. All he would say is, move your hands. You know, it was just, I mean, after what I'd seen him do, he had no emotion in his eyes.
That emptiness evident as we spoke.
So what if I called you something that you didn't like? And you'd think about killing me?
Well, if we was in a fight and, get your head down in the concrete, then, so be it. But,
What happens when my head goes down to the concrete?
well, what do you think happened? It cracks like a coconut.
And then what happens?
You die.
Did you see it? Did you see the blank stare in his eyes? Or the absolute loss of hope in his body movement? Tommy Lynn lived a double life for years and did not plan for even a second to end his cruelty. Even while being on death row for so many years, he could not reflect and repent from his evil ways. This is all due to a direct result of the new reality that the Leviathan spirit gave him. But how did the bond between Tommy Lynn and this particular spirit become so strong and so ingrained in his very being? You see, the bonding between an evil spirit and its host is based on how much the host enjoys the power they receive as a result of having this particular spirit sealed within their vessel. You may have observed it yourself in your life. You may have a family member, co-worker, or a classmate that exhibits this kind of behavior. They seem to enjoy harming others with bullying, name-calling, and manipulation. You may show patience expecting them to change their ways, but that day never comes. The reason for this is because of this bonding which strengthens over time. This then becomes an addiction. This newfound drug supplied by the Leviathan spirit is how the Leviathan spirit maintains possession of its host. The host essentially makes a pact with the spirit of the Leviathan, solely inspired by the power and spiritual authority this spirit makes them feel every time they hurt someone. If your spiritual ears were opened, you would have even heard it yourself in the interview you just watched with me. Tommy Lynn even described it as so in his interview. To him, killing is a drug. With this being said, in order for us to protect ourselves from the spirit of the Leviathan, we must understand how it even enters the body. The Leviathan spirit enters its host through abuse and feelings of abandonment. Only when the spirit becomes numb and deprived of human connection is the human body vulnerable enough for the Leviathan spirit to enter. Tommy Lynn was actually abused by his own family. Tommy Lynn reported that he was molested by a man named Willis Clark when he was 8 years old and suffered great human neglect and abandonment by his mother. In his quest to find some joy in life, he then stumbled upon alcohol and drugs, which opened his eyes to the spiritual realm and the contents thereof. This is why you should not do drugs, because opening your eyes to the spiritual realm illegally can lead to catastrophic outcomes. You see, the Leviathan spirit is contagious, and Tommy Lynn Sells did not realize that those who abused him also had the Leviathan spirit. The Leviathan spirit in his abusers disarmed his spirit and did what they set out to do in the first place, which was to give Tommy Lynn the very Leviathan spirit that he so hated. He became exactly what abused him for all those years. But the reason why he fell with such velocity was because he befriended the Leviathan spirit. So you who are watching, your teaching today is also a warning that the goal of the Leviathan spirit is to give you the Leviathan spirit.